The day I discovered my own daughter sold my house behind my back, I was standing in my kitchen making coffee, the same kitchen where I raised her, the same kitchen where I taught her to bake cookies, where we celebrated her graduations, her wedding, her children's birthdays. 43 years of memories in that house, and she sold it without telling me a single word. I'm 79 years old. At this age, you think you've experienced everything life can throw at you. You think you know who your people are. You think the children you sacrificed everything for would never, ever betray you like that. I was wrong. And I need to tell you this story because if it saves even one person from the nightmare I lived, then maybe this pain will finally mean something. My husband, Robert, passed away 6 years ago. We built that house together in 1981. Every brick, every wall, every corner held a piece of our life. After he died, my daughter Karen started visiting more often. At first, I thought it was love. I thought she was worried about me being alone. She would bring groceries, help with the garden, sit with me on the porch. I felt blessed. I told my friends at church how lucky I was to have such a caring daughter. But Karen had a different plan. She was watching, calculating, waiting. It started small. She suggested I add her name to my bank account for convenience. She said if anything happened to me, she could pay my bills without going through lawyers. It made sense. I trusted her completely. Then she mentioned the deed. She said putting her name on it would make things easier later, avoid probate, save the family money. I didn't think twice. This was my daughter, my only child, the little girl I used to rock to sleep every night. I signed the papers she brought. I didn't even read them carefully. She pointed where to sign, and I signed, because that's what trust looks like. That's what love looks like, or so I thought. For 2 years, nothing changed. I lived my quiet life. I tended my roses. I went to my doctor's appointments. I called Karen every Sunday. She always seemed busy, always rushed off the phone quickly, but I understood. She had her own family, her own problems. Her husband, Greg, had lost his job. They were struggling with their mortgage. I even gave her money sometimes, $20,000 over those 2 years. I wanted to help. That's what mothers do. Then one morning in March, a man knocked on my door. He was wearing a suit, carrying a briefcase, and he smiled like he was about to deliver good news. He said his name was Daniel, and he was from a real estate development company. He asked when I would be moving out. I stared at him. Moving out? What was he talking about? He looked confused. He pulled out papers and showed me a sales contract. My house, sold for $420,000, signed by Karen Mitchell, closing date in 45 days. I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking so hard I dropped my coffee cup. It shattered on the porch just like my heart. I called Karen immediately. She didn't answer. I called again and again. Finally, she picked up. I was crying, barely able to speak. I asked her what she had done. There was silence on the other end, a long, terrible silence. Then she said words I will never forget. She said, "Mom, you're almost 80. You can't take care of that big house anymore. You need to be in a facility where people can watch you. We found a nice place. It's for your own good. The money will pay for your care. You should be thanking me." Thanking me for selling my home without my knowledge, for deciding my fate without asking me, for treating me like I was already dead. I asked her how she could do this, how she could sign papers selling a house that wasn't hers to sell. That's when she reminded me, "Your name was on the deed, Mom, remember? You put me on it yourself. Legally, I had every right." She was correct about the law, but she was completely wrong about what was right. There's a difference between what you can do and what you should do. A massive, painful difference. The next few weeks were the hardest of my life. At 79, I had to hire a lawyer. I had to fight my own daughter in court. Do you know what that feels like? Sitting across from the child you created, the person you would have died for, and watching her lawyer argue that you're mentally incapable of managing your own affairs? Karen tried to have me declared incompetent. She brought in witnesses who said I forgot things, that I repeated myself, that I seemed confused sometimes. Normal things that happen when you're grieving and aging. She twisted them into evidence that I couldn't make decisions anymore. But here's what Karen didn't expect. I fought back. I got a cognitive evaluation from 3 different doctors. All of them confirmed I was mentally sharp. Forgetful sometimes, sure, but fully capable of understanding my situation and making my own choices. My lawyer found evidence that Karen had been planning this for over a year. Emails to real estate agents, conversations with nursing homes, all while she was sitting in my kitchen, smiling at me, pretending to care. The judge was a woman about my daughter's age. I remember looking at her and wondering if she had a mother somewhere, if she understood what Karen had done. When she read her decision, she looked directly at Karen with something like disgust in her eyes. She ruled the sale was conducted through fraudulent misrepresentation of authority. Karen had told the buyers I was in a nursing home and had given her full power to sell. That was a lie. I was home, healthy, and had never agreed to any sale. The contract was voided. I kept my house, but I lost my daughter. Karen hadn't spoken to me since the court ruling 2 years ago. She blocked my phone number. She moved to another state. My grandchildren, the ones I used to babysit every weekend, I haven't seen them in 26 months. She poisoned them against me. She told them I was selfish, that I chose a house over family, that I humiliated her in public. Some nights I lie awake wondering if I made the right choice. I have my home, but I lost everyone who used to fill it with laughter. Was it worth it? And then I remember, I didn't start this war. I just refused to surrender in it. There's a difference. What I learned at 79 years old is something I wish I had understood decades earlier. Love is not enough. Trust must be earned and verified. Being family does not give anyone the right to make decisions about your life without your consent. And the moment someone starts treating you like you're already gone, you need to wake up and protect yourself. I also learned something about forgiveness. People ask me if I've forgiven Karen. I tell them I'm working on it. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It doesn't mean letting her back into my life to hurt me again. It means releasing the anger so it doesn't poison what time I have left. I'm 79. I refuse to spend my remaining years drowning in bitterness. But I will never forget, and I will never again hand over control of my life to someone just because we share blood. If you're watching this and you're older, please hear me. Review every document with your name on it. Make sure no one has authority you didn't explicitly give. Talk to a lawyer, not a family member, about protecting your assets. And if someone pressures you to add their name to your accounts or property, ask yourself why. Real love doesn't need legal control. And if you're younger, watching this because you have aging parents, ask yourself something honestly. Are you helping them live their life, or are you already planning for their death? Because they can feel the difference. Trust me, they can feel it. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have fought in court against your own child, or would you have just accepted it and moved into that facility? Tell me in the comments. Share this with someone who might need to hear it before it's too late for them. And if these stories of survival and hard lessons mean something to you, subscribe so we can keep talking. I'm still in my house. I'm still tending my roses. I'm still making coffee every morning in the same kitchen. And I'm still standing, because my home isn't just walls and a roof. It's my dignity, and that no one can take from me. Not even the daughter I loved more than my own life.